don't like or want the label of a hero or a Rambo or anything like that. I'm no different than any other average American person. I just happened to see something in a particular time in my life that set me off on a search that has resulted in...
What was that?
Well, it was in 1966 when I was with the Navy. One of the things that I saw was a UFO, what they call a UFO. Of course, this wasn't unidentified. This was a craft. And it was approximately the size of a Midway-class aircraft carrier. Came up out of the ocean while I was the port lookout on a submarine between Pearl Harbor and the Portland-Seattle area. Tumbled on its axis and went up into the clouds. It was metallic. It was a machine. There was no doubt about it. It was witnessed by myself, the captain, the officer of the deck, the starboard lookout, the chief quartermaster, Chief Quintero, who took photographs of it. And we were told that it was classified and that we were not to discuss it, not even amongst ourselves. And, you know, all my life I had never believed in these things, although I had heard many stories about them. But that was probably the most significant, eye-opening, mind-opening event that's ever happened to me in my life. And later I was attached to Naval Security and Intelligence, and while I was on the intelligence briefing team for the Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, I saw top-secret documents that came across my desk in the process of preparing briefings on incidents involving naval ships, naval personnel, or naval stations, and UFOs that it flatly stated that UFOs are real. They're machines. They're piloted by extraterrestrial beings.
Another intelligences, in other words.
Right, other intelligences, and that they're interacting with the United States government secretly. And it's really wrong to say the United States government because it's really a secret organization that was created under a governing body called Majesty 12, sometimes called Majority 12, nicknamed MJ 12.
Okay, this is nothing to do with the secret government, is it? This is another branch.
No, this has something to do with the secret government because through this organization, the secret government actually controls the executive branch of the United States of America.
Okay.
And it's really wrong to say the United States government because it's really a secret organization that was created under a governing body called Majesty 12, sometimes called Majority 12, nicknamed MJ 12.
Okay, this is nothing to do with the secret government, is it? This is another branch.
No, this has something to do with the secret government because through this organization, the secret government actually controls the executive branch of the United States of America.
Okay.
All right, Doctor. Let's assume, for the sake of the argument again, that something is happening out there. What would you have us do? Should the President of the United States go on national television and say, my fellow Americans, we have evidence of a superior culture out there. They come from God knows where. Maybe from outer space. Maybe from some other dimension of existence. They are abducting our citizens on a regular basis, conducting experiments on them, collecting specimens of our ova, our sperm. They have been impregnating women and then later invading those women's bodies again and stealing the unborn fetuses for reasons we can only imagine. Our world, my friend, is based on the premise of a 30-year mortgage. You and I can close our eyes and go to sleep at night because we're pretty sure that the world we know today will be there tomorrow and the next day and the week after that. So I repeat, Doctor, until the day comes when we know what we're dealing with, until we can give solid answers, the policy of this government remains nothing is out there. It's just science fiction, the domain of a very rabid lunatic fringe.
What a relief. I can talk about it. They have technology that we haven't even dreamt of. I'm sure their propulsion system was something like anti-gravity or something like that, because they could stop on a dime, they can take off at Mach 10 or greater. It's unbelievable what they can do. It was about the size you'd get of an aircraft carrier. This was humongous.
He cried that he couldn't tell his own father.
Well, sure enough, I started getting down there, ready to fire, and the circle started coming down, and the next thing I know, the overtake went.
Our spooks told him never talk about it to anybody, including your wife, your kids, your family, your colonel, your commander.
He could stop and start and keep going and everything else, but he took off.
Nobody could he talk to.
Mach 10 in an airplane that doesn't go Mach 10. You know, airplanes don't go Mach 10. And he took off, and in 2 sweeps on the ground, he was off their scope. He was off my scope sooner than that. But as soon as that happened, the mission was over, and I couldn't fire. Disclosure is what we need. There are many more people like me that are running around with secrets that they can't talk about because nobody will release it.
You know, guys like my dad are heroes. Guys like Edgar Mitchell. When I was a kid, I watched these guys.
And I think we should get together even with the Russians, because I'm sure they know a hell of a lot more about these aliens than we do.
How can they? How dare them? How dare them, and how dare everybody stay silent here? And people like my dad held this secret. And people died that never could tell the secret in Vietnam. It's a shame.
You know, the only reason I'm here is to tell you, let's disclose this whenever we can, please. Thank you.
And yet, the media has blasphemized these great men. And this truth needs to come out, because there's a lot of people, including my family, who suffered and ridiculed. My father got ridiculed. My brother took phone calls from ridiculing people. My dad had a PhD. What more do they want? Astrophysicists are saying these things are real, and we're being ridiculed. That's all I have to say, and help this country.
You don't have to believe me. Nobody believes it, but you'll believe it when you see it.